Hi guys, and welcome to another 10 facts video. This time it's Mortal Kombat as suggested by Adam aka Shockz16. As always, a link to his channel is in the description and thanks for the suggestion. Mortal Kombat is up there with the most widely known fighting game franchises. Known for its bloody violence, including the infamous fatalities, the series has caused a fair amount of controversy over the years. Originally developed by Midway in 1992, the franchise has since been acquired by Warner Bros. Following Midway's bankruptcy, and the team turned into NetherRealm Studios. Subsequently, the series saw a reboot in 2011. The series has seen many sequels and spin-offs and has expanded into movies and television shows as well as other media. Since its humble beginnings, Mortal Kombat has become one of the most successful fighting game franchises in history. So chances are that you've played at least one game in the series, but let's see if you knew these 10 facts. The original Mortal Kombat was created by only 4 people in a mere 10 months. In 1991, Midway brought together 27-year-old programmer Ed Boon and 22-year-old comic book artist John Tobias to conceptualise and create a combat game for release within a year, which at the time they believed was meant to compete with Capcom's arcade smash Street Fighter. Boon and Tobias added artist John Vogel and sound designer Dan Forden to the team to make the quartet that would create Mortal Kombat during a 10-month period from 1991 to 1992. The game was originally based on a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. According to Tobias, the concept for the game emerged when the producers of Universal Soldier asked Midway Games to create a game based upon the movie, but Midway thought it would be more fun if they licensed Jean-Claude Van Damme on his own, making a game more akin to Van Damme's Bloodsport. The deal eventually fell through, and the idea evolved into Mortal Kombat. However, Van Damme's influence didn't disappear entirely. Hoping to make the most of Van Damme's action hero image and wanting to parody the situation, the pair ended up modelling Johnny Cage's appearance, backstory and persona around Van Damme. His initials even matched Jean-Claude's. John Carpenter's 1986 film Big Trouble in Little China was another source of inspiration for Mortal Kombat. 2 Mortal Kombat characters were modelled after villains in the film. Thunder God Raiden took visual inspiration from the movie's assassin trio The Three Storms, while Mortal Kombat's boss Shang Tsung bears a striking resemblance to the film's evil sorcerer Lo Pan. John Tobias has said that these influences were an homage to the film because the premise of both the movie and the game were, quote, kind of a mashup between a mythological Eastern world and a Western world grounded more in reality. It took over 6 months to come up with a name for the game. Mortal Kombat didn't have a name for over half of the development period. Every suggestion that came up was disliked by at least one of the team. Rejected names included Kumite, which refers to a hand-based section of karate training, Dragon Attack, Death Blow, and Fatality. Some of the Mortal Kombat actors have impressive CVs. Almost every character in the original Mortal Kombat game was created from motion capture of one of 5 actors. Korean-American actor Ho Sung-pak played both Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. England-born Elizabeth Malecki played Sonya Blade. Both hailing from Chicago, Richard DeVizio played Kano and Carlos Pesina played Raiden. The latter's older brother Dan had the most involvement, portraying Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero and Reptile. As a side note, the corpses lining the pit bottom level are played by the game's 4 creators. Of these actors, Ho Sung has the most film experience, with well-known titles including Jackie Chan's The Legend of Drunken Master, Epoch of Lotus, the Christian Slater film Alone in the Dark, and the 2012 remake of Red Dawn. This use of digitised characters was quite groundbreaking for the time. Mortal Kombat's release was one of the largest video game launches of its time. Despite the short development period and small team, the scale of the game's launch was almost unparalleled. A year after its original arcade release, Mortal Kombat was ported to 4 home consoles, Nintendo's SNES and Game Boy, and Sega's Mega Drive and Game Gear. All 4 versions of the game were released on a heavily marketed Mortal Monday on September 13th, 1993. Mortal Kombat caused a fair amount of controversy with its violent nature and gory moves. As most people know, Nintendo famously removed the blood and gore from their home console ports of the games. One American senator in particular took issue with Mortal Kombat. Connecticut Senator and future vice presidential candidate Joseph Lieberman spoke out against gory video games like Mortal Kombat. Speaking in late 1993, he said, "Violent video games may become the Cabbage Patch Dolls of the 1993 holiday season," referring to the toy's popularity. But Cabbage Patch Dolls never oozed blood and kids weren't taught to rip off their heads. We're talking about video games that glorify violence and teach children to enjoy inflicting the most gruesome forms of cruelty imaginable. There was a huge controversy and backlash in the media regarding Mortal Kombat's violent content. Following this, the video game industry oversaw the formation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB, which would assign levels of age appropriateness to games based on violence and adult content, which has now been a large part of the industry since 1994. The most infamous legal attack against Mortal Kombat wasn't even for its controversial violence, but over a misunderstanding of a customization feature. The 2006 installment, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, experimented with a feature that would allow players to create a fighter, using custom pieces of armour and clothing to design and name their own character. Irate video game critic and lawyer Jack Thompson, who had gained notoriety for opposing violent video games, came across evidence online of what he believed to be the unauthorised use of his likeness in Mortal Kombat. Having not actually bothered to play the game to discover it was only the work of a young gamer playing with the Create a Fighter feature, Thompson then issued a cease and desist order to the game's developers, publicly stating, "Mortal Kombat Armageddon contains an unauthorised commercial exploitation of my name, photograph, image and likeness within the game." A lawsuit never appeared and the game remained on sale. This was classic Jack Thompson, rushing in all guns blazing without actually knowing the details about which he was protesting. 2 years later, Thompson was disbarred from practicing law over unrelated matters, which included making false statements in court. One of Mortal Kombat's most memorable features actually began as a fan-invented rumour. A popular myth that surfaced in printed media during the era of Mortal Kombat 2 was a fatality move that was so secret and hard to perform that few had ever seen it live. It was the Animality, the ability for your fighter to not only gruesomely finish his opponent, but do so having morphed into an animal or mythical creature. The rumour was so popular that developers caught word of it and actually added the Animality into the following installment, Mortal Kombat 3. Fighters could now turn into bears, hawks, dinosaurs and even giant scorpions to maul or even eat their enemies, all thanks to rumours. Another feature of Mortal Kombat was the result of a glitch. The ninja style characters remain some of the most popular combatants in the Mortal Kombat series, such as Sub-Zero, Scorpion and Katana. One in particular, Earl Mac, wasn't even meant to exist, but thanks to a glitch found in early installments of the game, ended up becoming a playable character. During development, production cost and memory usage were reduced by using one actor to portray several ninjas. They wore a red fabric suit as a guideline, so they could later switch the colour of the characters, otherwise known as a palette swap, such as blue for Sub-Zero and green for Reptile. After lengthy sessions, a glitch would sometimes occur during a match, causing the character on screen to revert to the original red and display the message Earl Mac, short for Error Macro, which is a debug mode to prevent the game from crashing. Rumours surfaced that this was a secret character with his own moveset, but in truth he was only a visual glitch. The designers would make up for the glitch by making Earl Mac a real character in 1995 with accompanying backstory. He is the accumulation of souls belonging to fallen warriors. The far rarer female version of this glitch became Scarlet in the recent 2011 reboot Mortal Kombat. The team behind Mortal Kombat are well known for their use of secrets, Easter eggs and hidden content. One of the most bizarre Easter eggs in the series is the ability to play Pong in the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 2. To trigger the game, two players must endure a total of 250 consecutive matches. Upon finishing the 250th match, a strange message will appear. The message reads, "You have reached the outer limits of the tournament. Now you must both face a challenge from your past." The screen is then occupied with a classic game of Pong, with the only difference being a toasty audio sample from Mortal Kombat sound designer Dan Forden, which plays after each point is scored. After a player reaches 7 points, the game of Pong will end and the players are returned to the next round of Mortal Kombat. Another interesting hidden feature appeared in Mortal Kombat Deception, which was the first entry in the series to feature open world gameplay in the form of Conquest mode, in which the player would roam the Chaos and Nether realms as Shujinko. Many of the realm's inhabitants speak in a bizarre garbled language, which is actually that old chestnut, normal speech played backwards. When reversed back to normal, the NPCs say things like, "I'm talking backwards, spooky isn't it? Drink milk, get plenty of sleep, listen to your parents and do your homework. And perhaps best of all, if you have decoded this, you have way too much time on your hands." So there we have it guys, that's my 10 Mortal Kombat facts. Thanks again Adam for the suggestion. Let me know in the comments if you knew all 10 or if you knew any of those facts, and as always I very much welcome any suggestions. So thanks very much for watching and I will see you on the next one. Cheers!